question for y'all. What is it called when a parent lives vicariously through their children?
Well, I was looking it up, and I literally just typed that question, and this is what it says. There are various examples whereby the social phenomenon of vicariousness may be observed. These include, for instance, stage parents, some of whom may try to live out their dream career through their offspring. Such attempts of vicarious behavior has been noted by some analysts as having negative consequences. By some analysts. So the reason that this question was brought up, right, is because Musica was telling us about a TikTok that she ran across. You want to tell us about that TikTok?
Yes. Okay, so I was, being on TikTok, whatever, like socially and stuff like that. And okay, first I should point this out. I never purposely look up the Kardashians. It's mostly like TikTok news that I got. And it said the title, which I meant that kind of got me my attention, that Khloe, it supposedly said that Khloe called CPS on Kim for being a neglectful parent. Yes, and I am sort of fact checking on this right now, and it's very mixed, but supposedly, like, there's one that's saying that Kim's own kids begged Khloe to, like, call for help because they're, like, they don't, like, I guess they feel neglected. And there's the one saying, like, she's arguing with Kim, saying, like, how she's being a neglectful parent. So I think it's a very mixed signals thing, but if anything, I think probably did, I'm almost 100% sure that Khloe probably did talk to Kim about how she's raised her children. And again, this also falls under the whole TikTok thing I was telling you about all earlier, because in TikTok, like, it says, like, how she, like, whenever she takes care for your kids, or, like, they're all, like, in, like, family meetings, whatever, like, she says how destructive they are. Like, they throw tantrums, that they're just, like, they're wild. And that, like, she's, like, looked at Kim, and that she's, like, whatever. And, like, everyone's saying, like, how, apparently now that's also sparked up a whole debate, because, like, everyone's saying, like, how, oh, like, some people are, like, defending Kim, obviously saying, like, oh, like, like, no, she's being a good, or doing the best that she can be, like, she, like obviously a very busy woman, has a lot of stuff and brands and everything like that, and that people are saying, like, they're lucky, because, like, they have, nannies, and, like, how they're living in a big ass house and everything, that they don't have to worry. And some people are on Khloe's side saying, like, how, like, yes, like, Khloe also, like, has, like, pretty much is busy like Kim too, but, like, how everyone's arguing that she's there for her children anyways, like, she's making sure she has enough time for them, whereas Kim is, like, whatever. I think the only times that anyone says, like, they actually see her with interacting with their children is when there's paparazzi, or on the Kardashian show. Like, for looks.
Right. So this was crazy, right? Because I remember back when, so first of all, I used to be a huge Kardashian fan. I used to watch, I would watch them all the time. And then that trend, I don't know if you guys ever heard of that trend, that basically we're canceling celebrities, and just because of the whole, that they're not speaking out for certain things where they can use a platform. And one of my biggest beefs with the whole Kardashians is the Balenciaga thing that happened. And because they are still collaborating with them and everything, so I blocked them. I blocked all of them. So ever since that, so probably I think that happened like around the beginning of the year. I don't remember, but it's been a couple of months. I had not really heard or seen anything about them until the whole thing with North, when North was on The Lion King and all that came up.
Oh my god, yes, I remember that.
Yeah, and then I remember that Noodles and I were having that conversation back then, and then we just kind of dropped it, right? Like it just kind of went away, just like a lot of things nowadays. Like it was, you know, and then I didn't see anything else until today, right? You told me about this. So then we thought, oh, let's talk about this. This is something that we definitely, I am interested in this. And I originally thought, oh, this has to do with the Nepo Babies and nepotism. You know, Nepo Babies is short for nepotism, which means like, you get a job or you have an easy foot in the door when it's your parents that you follow the same job that your parents are doing.
Mm-hmm.
So in this case, there's a lot of them right now in Hollywood that are now following in their parents' footsteps. And originally I thought that that's what this conversation was going to be about. But the more that we talked and then I was telling Noodles about this earlier because I said, this, because it has to do with the Kardashians, and then I said, I had heard back when the new season came out that they were talking about that everybody was, that there was like a Kim and Chloe argument, something about that, and then that's when Noodles said, well, this doesn't, because I said, I'm not so sure if I like originally we were going to talk about Nepo Babies in Hollywood, but I said, I don't think this applies. Right, Noodles?
Yeah, because I was telling her that it didn't sound like that's what this was. So, like me, I started like thinking about it. I was like, it's more like parents who are forcing their kids really to be in the spotlight.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least that's how I took it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And see the part, because then like because it started off with Kim Kardashian and, neglecting her kids or whatever. And then I thought, well, I don't know, like, have you checked if that is true or if it's...
There's no, like, confirmed thing about it, but, like, a lot of people saying that, oh, yeah, she might have. Others saying that, like, she's threatening to, like, call CPS on Kim.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I think it's just, like, I don't know, something like taken out of context, or, like, maybe it was a threat and someone leaked it out.
See, what the thing that got me, I think that this whole thing with Kim and her kids has kind of been slowly simmering. Slowly, and then I feel like when the thing, because I had heard rumors before about North not getting along with the younger siblings, and North, in fact, which I think is not, actually it's horrible, because she's a child, but there is an account on Instagram that acts like if it's North, and everybody knows it's a parody, but it's like a very entitled person, kid.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny, but it's because that's always been known that, whatever North wants, North gets. Or again, that's just the rumor. That's how people see her.
Mm-hmm.
So then when this...
I'm pretty sure with everything that happened when Lion King it got worse.
Yeah.
So when that thing happened with the Lion King, right, it turns out like, oh, it's not just Kim, it's Kanye too, because I think he designed, like, a lot of people, like, there were so many things that people were upset about when that happened. But one of the things that they were upset is that she didn't even use, like, the costume, like what she was using, like people were making fun of it. Like, oh, she looks like the bird, or, like it's not a cat,
yeah.
like...
It's like that weird huggy sweater thing, right? Like...
Right.
Yeah.
And then it turns out that it was Kanye's idea. Like, Kanye had said, like, I don't want my daughter out there, half naked, and I'm gonna, this is what I'm designing for her, and blah blah blah. So again, this is not about North. She's a child.
Mhm.
It's it's about the parents. And because Kim and Kanye are not the only parents that have done this, right?
Mhm.
And so I thought, okay, so what is it? What is that called? I think that's how the conversation started. Like, well, what is that called? Is that a helicopter parent? Because I looked it up, and so different things came up. It's helicopter parent, domineering parent, narcissist parent, and so and on and on. But so there isn't one word exactly. But I guess if I was to pick, um, I don't know. I think vicarious behavior, vicariousness parenting. I don't know, but it's the parents. We're talking about parents who push their kids specifically onto the spotlight, no matter the consequences, right? Think of pageant moms, right? Think of like a pageant mom. Like when you think of a pageant mom, you think of, the mom that's behind the scenes, that knows the choreography and is dancing there as a kid. If the mom could go up there and do it, and I'm talking about because of the pageant mom thing, she would go up there. But it's not just moms, it's dads too. Because then I started thinking, okay, so a good example of this is, well, obviously the Kim and Kanye with North and what they did, is the whole Lion King thing. But then I thought the first thing that came to my mind was, in the movie Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the one with Johnny Depp,
Yeah.
and Violet's mom. Like, that's the first
Yeah.
image that came to my mind. Like, oh, and then I thought, okay. And then I thought, okay, what would be another example? And then I'm definitely, Gen Xer, because these are older. I'm pretty sure I could find probably newer ones. But the second one that popped into my mind was in High School Musical, the dad, how he's just like pushing and pushing for Troy to be into basketball and get, go to school for this and that. Like, what do you guys think of that? Like, do you guys agree with this? Or do you guys think that this isn't really about nepotism? It's more like the parents?
I think it's definitely more of the parents, because maybe some of them like wish that like, oh, like I do wish I had this opportunity, or like how they felt like maybe like that kind of opportunity had slipped from their grasp, and they see it as a second way of obtaining it through their child. Which I do think like that is just, that's just wrong, because like your child, like yes, they're a part of you, but they're not you. Like they may not like what you like. They may have other wants or needs, or even even interests.
Dreams.
Yeah, dreams, definitely different dreams. And I think that to force that on your child, and like that, or have them think that, because I think pretty sure like some like narcissistic parents, like I've heard like so many stories on this, like how like a lot of the kids who grew up and raised by them like that, like they made them feel like if they didn't follow or listen or chase their parents' dreams, then they were unworthy, unloved, and that they'd failed in being their child. And I just think that's just terrible to like put that much pressure on like a 5-year-old all the way up to their adult years.
Yeah.
Definitely. And I mean, for me, it's I don't, especially for like, celebrities, like, I don't get it. I think it's just, at least in this particular situation that we were talking about, like, Kim and Kanye, I think it's just the fact that Kim was and is making content with her kids in mind. Because she's realizing, like, oh, like, the spotlight is moving, it's not really on her anymore. So she needs to come up with something that's gonna give a wow factor and keep her names in the tabloid, you know? Like, but it also reminded me of like the kids on YouTube that were forced to do like the unboxing challenges and to try out whatever new toy is out there. And yeah, I think even some of them went on to like star in their own commercials, you know, on TV shows and all of that. Some of it was good. I mean, I've heard a few stories of the kids that they're like grateful for everything, but then we hear the not so great stories of these kids that were not happy, and now they're finally that they're at least teenagers that can finally say, I'm done, I don't want to do this anymore. They get to say now to stop. So I think it's kind of falls into that category as well.
Well, and that I think is definitely a narcissist parent, because I'm a parent, you know, and
You are?
as you two know, I've been a parent for quite some time. And while I think I definitely want what's best for you guys, but not at the price of like you have to do what I didn't do. Right? Like, or what you just said, like in Kim and Kanye's, you know, that you're right. I mean, you know, maybe they're not feeling, you know, relevant. So they need to reach a new audience. And what better way than to, you know, thrust your child onto the spotlight? And I feel like that, you know, that's definitely narcissistic views, I think, because I can't see it, because not all parents do this. You know, and it's very particular. It's not all parents do this. I feel
like I remember also not that far back. Well, it's another reason. What's that actress name? The one who did in Miss Congeniality, the main actress.
Sandra Bullock.
Yeah, her. Like people were saying like how like they caught another rare glimpse of her son, of her children, because like she, like how you said, like as one of the few parents, she actually tries to keep her children out of the paparazzi, the spotlight. Yeah, and I think the only times they were caught them was like whenever they're out and about hanging out together. Like again, I'm not saying that he not doing anything. It's just like I think like if he wants to do something entertainment, then he will. But if not, then like I think she's more or less like letting him figure stuff out for himself. Which I think is a good way, especially like again, like she's in a position where she could offer him anything, like any resource, open doors for him if need be, but also letting him know that like, you know, like it's his own choice.
Well, and you know, this is definitely a learned trait in the case with Kim Kardashian, because I mean, just look at her mom. You know, literally coined the word momager because of her. I think it's trademarked and everything, or copyrighted, or whatever. I mean, how did they get famous? You know, and I hate this because I don't want to talk bad about women, you know? And I've always said to you guys when we've talked about this, it's like, well, look at the things that, you know, like these women have accomplished. So I don't want to take away from that, because at the end of the day, I do respect the hustle, okay? But I feel, I mean, there's word out on the street that it was Chris, you know, it was her mom who shopped that sex tape around, and then I started watching it from the beginning, you know, and I remember the very famous scene where Kim was asked to be on Playboy, and she was kind of like, oh, I don't know why she did this. Is early on in the season. And she was like, oh, I don't know. And the mom was like, well, you know, kind of like cheering her on. And then when she did do it, Chris was right there. You're doing great, baby. It was so weird because here's your daughter, posing nude. And part of me, I think, like, well, the mom is being supportive, because I feel like if you guys were to ever say, guess what, mom, I'm gonna, do this, and, I've always said, like, I will support you in whatever you want to do. But this was different. It was different. So I feel that Kim now is like, well, it worked out great for me. Like, I'm successful on this and this. Well, I'm going to do the same for my kids. But, I mean, listen, I don't know, I don't know if North really, I mean, I've been hearing a lot of, now, because I was like, okay, I'm going to do this research. I've literally started watching the latest season, because I thought, okay, I'm going to see what I find. And so far, so it's the last season, I think it's season 5, and I'm on episode 4. I think I started episode 4. I'm in the middle of it. And so far, from what I've seen, Chloe, who's the third of, so the oldest is Courtney, and in this season, Courtney's pregnant, and then Kim, and then Chloe. Chloe has 2 kids, a daughter, and I think she's 5, I'm not sure, in the show, and then she has a son, cutest baby ever. I think he's 2. And so, since the season started, and I'm already in the middle of episode 4, they have been focusing a lot on, well, Chloe doesn't go out, Chloe's doing the mom thing, and they're kind of like criticizing her, and she's even saying it. She says they're like, I'm being judged. There's a scene where Chloe is throwing a party for Kim, and they're in the car, Chloe and Chris, her mom, and she's telling her mom, oh my gosh, True was asking me, well, who's going to read my bedtime story? And then Chloe's like, well, Ryan is going to read it, the nanny. And then the daughter's like, well, who's going to say my prayer with me? And so Chloe again says, Ryan. And Chris tells her, she's like, well, kind of jokingly, if you were to tell me the routine, like, I could come over and help out. And Chloe's like, no, Mom, like, it's fine. It's the first time ever that someone else is going to put them to sleep. Because I've never let the nannies do it. It's always me. And then it cuts to, like, where Chris kind of makes a face, and then it cuts to where, they're talking, the commentary, and she's saying, everybody keeps telling me that I need to, like, go out and do more, but they're criticizing Chloe a lot, and I feel like, but she's doing the mom thing. This is what we've done. Like, moms, this is what we do. And to them, that's not normal. So, that's what I've seen so far. And I've seen, that episode where it's Kim's birthday. And then the next day, Chris is asking, actually that's where I left off. I haven't seen the rest, but where Chris is asking Kim, well, how was your birthday, honey? And she says, well, not good, because my birthday, I wanted to spend it, I spend it with my kids all day, but because she was spending it with her kids, they had to do what the kids wanted. For example, like, the kids wanted to color, and she was saying what they were, and so she spent the day coloring or watching unboxing YouTube videos. And she was complaining to her mom how she needs to explain to her kids that her birthday is not Mother's Day. So, and she wants to spend it with them, but doing what she likes. And mind you, just like an episode before, she was boasting how she has worked so hard. She was in 5 different cities for 5 different days, like back to back. I'm sure the kids were with nannies the whole time because, I mean, the kids weren't there.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I don't know. I was like, oh my god. But yet they're criticizing Chloe because she's taking time for herself and her kids. And other people's kids, because Chloe also helps take care of their brother Rob's daughter. So
I keep forgetting they have a brother. That's so terrible.
yeah. So I'm kind of like, oh, that's so crazy how we all really do live in our own little bubble. And to them, it's like, that's weird. Whereas to most of the world, it's like she's being a parent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's how far I am. But they keep showing clips of what's to come. And in the clips of what's to come, I had seen TikToks of that where they argue, where Kim argues with Chloe about the parenting styles. But I haven't gotten that far yet. So.
I guess they're so used to like, oh, well, it's just business, you know? That's their kids. That's not employees. Like, and I feel like they sometimes forget that.
Like, I think there's also a difference, because, like, oh my god, okay, like, if she is doing, like, what her mom did, like, with them when they were little, we also go back to, like, that was a different... Oh, okay, mom's turn now. So now, yeah, like, again, like...
I'm just gonna lay down.
She's like, ugh, I'm so over this already.
Oh god, I'm trying to get on the... Okay, fine.
Right. Yeah, like, okay, like, with their mom, Chris? That's her name, right?
Yes.
Okay, like, with Chris, like, I remember, like, how, like, again, I do remember how you explained it to us more in middle school and a little bit in high school, like, how, not like how you did, like you said, you admire her, like, from the way how she made her own name, her own brands, like, her own self, pretty much, her own self-image.
Yeah.
And, again, like, okay, cool, like, that's also, like, what her children grew up to see, and they admire her for that, too, but they also gotta remember, like, that was also a different time and different generation, you know, like, their mom, for what I remember and everything, like, divorced their dad, and, like, when he died and everything, I think at the time, like, yes, he did leave a lot for them, but, like, I want to say, like, you said in an interview, like, she didn't want to rely on that so much, too, because, like, you know, like, that's just all his, so, like, she built her own thing, so this way it's something that's also for her and for her children to add on to. Which, you know, they did. And I think that, again, like, but that was a different time. You know, like, she had to do that to provide more for her children.
Yeah.
And I think that's, like, again, like, it's like the whole, like, how some people right now compared to, like, oh, like, back in my day, like, when we were kids, like, it was different for, like, you know, like games, toys, learning, and, like, the safeties, as they would say. I'm doing air quotes. and then my argument is like, well, yeah, that was back then. You know, like, that was something that you could have done, or something you didn't had to think about it too hard or too deeply before. And compared to now, like, Kim, Chloe, Courtney, like, they all don't have to be... I don't want this is gonna sound terrible, and there's no other way for me to put it. I'm so sorry. I don't even prefer to sound like this, but they don't have to work too hard, like the way their mom did.
Right.
And I think, you know, I think what Chloe's doing, like, taking some time, because like, she can afford to take some time.
Exactly.
Like, it's not like she has to be there for it 24/7, or at least more time out of it, like the way her mom had to before.
Yeah.
Like, she doesn't have to do that. Like, she has multiple other businesses, multiple partners, like, people to check up on
she
it
has
for
the
her.
luxury to do what she's doing.
And I think, you know, like, to me, like, the fact that she's at that point where, like, she knows, like, okay, I could just leave it and it will continue to grow and only come in if I absolutely have to. I think the fact that she's taking her time to be there for her children, to be their mom, pretty much, I think that's pretty great. The fact that they're dissing her on that, if anything, to me, it speaks volumes on them, because then, I don't know, like, to me, it's like, maybe they somehow on a level know, like, they don't have to, but are choosing to because, oh, like, it's too much work to take care of my child or whatever. Yeah. Like, I think to me, it's like, I'm not saying that's exactly how they think or feel, but I'm just saying, like, if that's the case, then my argument's gonna be like, then why have your child? Why have this child if you're not gonna put in the effort to parent them a little? You know, like, instead of just, like, having them there as an accessory, you know, if that's the case, then, like, you know, like, freaking adopt a dog, a cat, a lizard, a horse, something, like, again, not saying, like, those are accessories either, because they're also living things, but they won't require as much as attention, because then, you know, fine, hire someone to take care of them.
Right.
Like, a child is different, because they know they can express it out more. They could say it. Like, at the end of the day, they're expecting you to be their parent.
Yeah. And that's the thing, right? Like, I feel that in this episode especially, she was trying to be relatable by saying those things like, oh, well, you know, I had to do this on my birthday, but I feel it's like so tone deaf right there. Like, it just missed the mark, because every parent, let me tell you, every parent, I don't think there's not one parent who hasn't thought of, like, oh, to have nannies, you know? And so I feel like right there that's why I don't believe it. I don't believe that. I don't believe that, what she was saying there. Oh, you know, I spent my whole day, and I feel that they were trying to make him relatable. But no, I'm sorry. It just came off totally wrong, because first of all, you don't see your kids that much, because again, episodes before, she's jet setting all over the country, all over the world. And then now she's boohooing because she had to spend the day with her kids. And maybe, like I said, I know that fight that they keep promoting between Chloe and Kim, I think had to do with that her kids are not well behaved. That out of everyone's, you know, but I feel like, well, yeah, I mean, if she's not there, she's not, of course the kids, and then as a parent, I understand that aspect of her. She said they're like, you know, she can't be hard on them, like they want something, and she's basically spoiling them. Which again, as a parent, I can kind of understand that, because as a parent, you want to give your kids the world, you know? But then don't try to pretend that you're something when, I mean, clearly it's not. I don't know. You know, I think that, like I said, they were trying to make her relatable with that, but I don't think it really, I don't know. Because, yeah, I mean, Chloe, like you said, I mean, they had the luxury to do that, and Kim has said, you know, how selfish she is because she's addicted to work, and that's what she wants to do. You know, she's addicted to work, and she said she was going to slow down this year, but instead it was even worse. So what is that? And you're being selfish because you decided to have kids, and just as honestly, it's almost like they're just an accessory. They're just accessories to her.
No, yeah. No, yeah, like, I agree. Like, honestly, it's just like...
But then we go back to then expand it out to, okay, because, you know, that's the extreme right there, again. So, like, even at a local level, we run into parents like that a lot. Like I said, the example earlier with the with the High School Musical and the dad.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of parents that way. There's a lot of parents who push their kids to dance. I mean, dance moms. That whole entire show. Oh my god. I don't even know if it's still on.
I
don't think it is.
No, I don't think it is. I don't want to say it isn't anymore.
But again, it's those type of shows really that I feel is also glorifying that role, you know?
Definitely.
Because again, the pageant mom. Oh my god, that scared me.
They're like,
They're doing so well.
notice me.
But then, okay, I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. So, in North's case, right? People in that position. You know, a lot of people are like, well, you're doing wrong to your kid because you're not setting them up for the real world. But in their case, that is the real world for them. I mean, not only is her mom like super rich, but like her dad's a billionaire.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really think, I mean, something truly extreme would have to happen for them to like be dirt poor. That's not gonna happen. So, in that case, well, maybe us, we don't see it because we're not in that world. And to us out here in the real world, it would be. You know, you overspoil a kid or like you do the things that they're doing, that's, yeah, out here in the real world, that's not gonna fly.
No, yeah.
But in their world, so is it wrong then of her what she's doing?
I
What do you guys
think yes and no.
Yes.
The reason I say yes and no because like I say yes. Let's say okay, yes, like her mom's, you know, like millionaire and her dad is a billionaire. Like she obviously is not gonna be hurting for money anytime soon.
Mm-hmm.
Her and her future kids.
Hydration.
But I think the reason why yes it's wrong because like socially, is this how she's gonna act in social events around people or like? If she wants to try to make her own type of projects and it doesn't go her way, she just throws a tantrum.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, you could say, oh, her parents could swoop in and take care of it. Yes, but that's fine. But what happens, like, when they can't because, like, they're busy? Then what? She's just gonna give up on it? Like, that's why I think it's wrong. Because, like, they're setting her up badly for being a productive, socialized human being. And the reason I also say no, it's not because, like, you know, again, like, they can afford to spoil her right now. I guess, like, it's fine a little bit as a kid, but I do think they had to, at some point, step in and start preparing her to be like, hey, like, you know, like, you have to, like, if you ever want to build something of your own or do your own thing, you know, you have to, you know, talk to people. Whether it's face-to-face, on a computer or a project, whatever, they have to prepare her for like things that may not go her way and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise, like, what, she's gonna be a hermit for the rest of her life? I mean, I'm sorry, but like that's the only other thing I could think of.
I mean, I don't know. Like at the end of the day, there's one thing of okay, you're right. They're not gonna have the same worries as you and I. Or any other regular person that we'll bump into, you know? But there's no need for an attitude like that.
Yeah.
You know, so at the end of the day, like, she is failing her because they're not, I mean, everyone around her really, because, yeah, like, there's no reason for it.
Yeah, because the other kids, they're not like that. I mean,
Exactly.
I don't know. So what kind of parents are you guys gonna be? Which one are you gonna choose? Narcissist? Helicopter? There's so many.
I think I might actually end up accidentally becoming a helicopter mom, to be honest.
Accidentally?
The reason I say this is because, like, first of all, me and my wife have been arguing, like, over school, whether to do homeschool or, like, you know, try to find one, like, on a base or somewhere, like, you know, something we feel secure and safe with. Because, first of all, schools are getting shot up left and right here, people. And
yeah.
I know people argue, like, oh, it's, high schoolers, and like no, like it happened in middle schools, it happens in elementaries, and like yes, thank God it hasn't happened in daycares or anything like that, but there has been accidents in daycares where children will come back with bruises, tapes on them, and you know, all of a sudden like they have shaken baby syndromes and stuff like that. Like it has happened.
Oh my
And I
gosh,
think that's
yes.
where I become. That's why I say I'll probably end up becoming a helicopter mom a bit, because I'll be like, no, I have to put my kid in a plastic bubble or something.
Do you think that that's something that develops? Or do you think that it's something within a parent that they're like that?
I think
depends
it's-
on the person.
Yeah, I think it's also something that they may end up developing. Like probably like, you know, some people be like, oh, I'm gonna be like this kind of parent, and they end up turning into a different type of parent instead. Like it's, I don't know, like it's just however they end up turning what kind of parent themselves into.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, because there are some babies that are planned. So, I mean, there could be parents out there who planned, like, this is going to be the child that will do everything I didn't get to do. Or there's also those parents that, like Musica said, that maybe they just had them thinking, like, you know, this is going to be my first child, and then all of a sudden it becomes, you need to do the things I haven't done. Or
Mm-hmm.
please stay invisible. I mean, how many there are that? What's there are those parents that like get freaked out to think that their kids would leave the house, that they like poison them so that they would get sick and stay home.
Right.
You
Mm-hmm.
know,
There's a... Oh my god, that just made me think of that Black Mirror episode. Where there's this chip, basically you chip your child,
Oh,
You
I
know
remember
that
that
one?
one. Yeah,
I
that one was
remember.
freaky.
and that's basically what it is. I mean, that's...
yeah, that was overly
Yeah.
extreme, but
No, yeah.
exactly.
But you know what? I'm sure that there are parents right now. I mean, I know of some that would track down their child. Which, I don't know. It's hard because it's what Musica just said. Well, for safety reasons, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I agree. Like, I'm so glad that me personally, I'm not gonna have to deal with that. You know, no little kids like that. But I feel like when I have grandchildren, I think I am going to be worrying about that too. And is there such a thing as a helicopter grandparent?
I'm pretty
You'd be
sure there
surprised.
is.
Yes, there are.
Because I might accidentally become one. Just kidding. No, I'm joking. I don't know, ladies, but I thank you, Musica, for reminding us about this topic. And yeah, I mean, if you guys are listening, join our Discord, join the conversation, because I would love to hear other people's opinions on this, you know, the narcissist parenting, helicopter parenting, and what was the other one that we said? Hold on. Vicariousness parenting.
That just sounds so weird.
Right.
does.
I don't think I had, I don't think my mom was either of those, by the way. I want to just say, I think that in that sense, I feel that that's why I feel like I left you guys more like, not alone in the house, but more like, be free, express yourselves, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel it's because of that. Oh, yeah. What kind of parent did you guys have? Let's explore that avenue.
Needles, you first.
Wow. Okay, I see, Musica.
I know, I love you.
I don't think I'm a helicopter parent.
Oh, you weren't. You were not.
I feel like you were strict, but we had a lot of freedom at the same time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know if
I-
that makes sense.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I think for me, no, yeah, you were definitely a very this is gonna sound weird, but like this is the way I could kind of describe it. I think you were a fluid parent because like you like if you needed to be strict and like be the mom, then you would. But if you felt like okay, you want us to explore, express, find new interests, like you would encourage us. I remember me and Noodles were like, we decided to make a game out of see like what would you say no to for us to like wanting to explore, making a career out of. I remember one time we even said freaking Shark Tamers, and you're like, okay, yeah, do it, let's look it up. And we're like, no, we don't want to do that no more.
I swear, you little shit.
Oh yeah, we were coming up with the most weirdest shit just to see like what was your limit. I remember Dad a lot would told us that we were crazy. You on the other hand, you're like, yeah, do it. We enjoyed it.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. You know, I think that. Well, my mom wasn't as encouraging, but I think fluid is a good word. Fluid parenting. Huh. Well, thank you, ladies. But no, yeah. So now the question is it a learned trait then, or is it just something that some people are? Maybe it's because they're narcissists and that's how it begins. I don't know.
I feel like it's a little bit of both, you know?
I agree. Cause, no, yeah, like you said, like I remember you told us as we got older, you know, especially like in our high school years, and when we asked you like, why are you? Cause like again, like cause like my aunts, like their parenting styles and everything, like it is so very different. And I forgot if it was me or Noodles, but one of us asked you like, why were you guys were so different? And again, you did say it was a bit of like how like again like how grandma raised you guys, but also like you also said you didn't want to be the kind of parents a bit like how your sisters were, because like you said that you saw some things that they did that you didn't want to do, both of your sisters and of your mom, that you remembered, and you're like, I want to be different with my kids.
Right. Yeah, definitely. I think I thought, okay, I'm gonna get what I like of each person, and I'll incorporate that. And then what I didn't like, I definitely said, well, that is not what I'm gonna do. And I strayed away from that, you know. This is why I don't understand. Not to say, I mean, I know that I've made a lot of mistakes because we're human. Parents, we're human, and that's gonna happen. But again, we're talking about the extreme cases, such as in this case with Kim Kardashian and Kanye West. You know, I feel like they are that extreme. But unfortunately, there are people that don't have that lifestyle but are that extreme in their parenting in that sense. So
no, yeah, I mean there's also like the neglectful parents, which at least to my friends, to my past friends, like they have that kind of parents, and they both turned out very differently. One of them turned out to be, I'm guessing, a slight overbearing parent, mostly because like she has literally told me that she wants to fill in, not exactly how I would say fill in, but like she wants to gain back that love of a family with her future children. Like she has a son, and she told me like, oh, like she plans on having another child with someone, a guy like she will end up liking, but not involve him whatsoever. And I personally thought like that's a little concerning, because then it's like, okay, so you're gonna be the opposite of what your mom was. Like, okay, yes, be there for your child, but the fact that she's like fill in the void, it's like, okay, so you're gonna be the overbearing parent. Got it. And the other one, oh my god, she yeah, the other one, she just, well, she doesn't want kids, but like she turned out to be just pretty much turning into like a very bad person, like very rotten to a lot of people. All of us contact from her and everything, and it's just, yeah, that happened. I hope she never has kids.
I mean, I do think that people can change as well.
Mhm.
So hopefully, if somebody is brought up by a parent, a narcissist parent, I don't necessarily think that then that person's going to be like that.
No, yeah.
Because it's crazy, right? I mean, I'm the youngest of five girls, five siblings. Four siblings, but it was five kids. And we all turned out differently. Raised by the same people, but turned out differently, you know? So, again, I don't think that's an excuse either. But, I mean, maybe people that were raised in those situations, maybe they have to just take a little bit more extra steps just for them, you know, to not turn out that way. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it can be done.
Mhm.
Going at a different pace.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
exactly. Well, like I said, I feel like maybe I was a fluid parent with you ladies, but I feel I will be a helicopter grandparent. I already am, and I don't even have any.
I see that.
Exactly. But anyways, well, thank you guys for joining us. I'm Mita. I'm here with my co-hosts, Noodles and Musica, and we are Fluently Talking.
Bye.
See you
Bye.
later.